Hey everyone, welcome back to the studio, and today we're here with a brand new video for you guys. We are going to be talking about Heartland Season 15, Episode 4, titled Sins of a Father, and I'm here with my mom, Stacy. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, guys.
So this, I actually watched 2 times. She watched it once, but I'm glad I watched it 2 times because definitely I missed, I think it was good, especially the things with Jack. I think it was good because there's a lot happening, especially with Jack this episode, so it was good just to... because I think the flashbacks in like the real life can kind of like throw you off. I think a little bit with like what is Jack thinking at this point, especially when he went out with like the gun outside. That was definitely intense. I was not expecting that. But what did you think of the episode?
I thought it was really good. I liked seeing Jack kind of deal with some demons from the past, so it was good.
Mm-hmm. I will say this is probably my favorite episode this season so far. I think. I don't know about you. I think I really like I really like the flashbacks. I think they did a really good job with them. I'm surprised they went back to Jack's character. I mean, they had the whole thing a few seasons ago with him and his sister, but I think it worked just for one episode and like really like showed the pain and how the break-in kind of resurfaced all these memories that he didn't want to remember and the whole watch and everything. I think it actually worked really good, and it wasn't just like a random thing that like a random flashback episode. It actually had like build up.
Definitely, yeah.
So yeah, we kind of pick up from the break-in. A lot of the items are stolen, including the television, Jack's watch, and of course Tim's rodeo trophy. And yeah, of course, the security system was turned off, and it was the worst night for it to be turned off, so they cannot catch the robbers, of whoever did it. So then Jack keeps saying the watch doesn't matter, just stop worrying about the watch. And Lisa and everyone can tell that something's up with Jack. And I feel like we definitely seen this thing where everyone's concerned for Jack, and Jack wants to go off and be on his own. We saw this a few seasons ago with his sister. We saw it when he was dealing with Ty, and then we saw it when Will Vernon passed away. I think Jack just really likes to be alone. I think everyone can tell that when Jack's off on his own, something's not right. Especially because we've seen this so many times. I feel like. And then, and then the flashbacks start kicking in. The first one is a happy one at the fireplace, and Jack tries on his father's watch, and he says, "You'll grow into it someday." So kind of starting that up. And then the next one was right after Jack's sister June's funeral. And I liked how these flashbacks, you could tell that they look kind of like older, if that made sense. Like they look like they didn't it looked like kind of like different, like they filmed them a little bit differently, like a different setting a little bit. Like it wasn't as bright, and it was a little bit darker. I'm not sure if you noticed that, how they filmed those scenes.
Yeah.
The next scene was pretty much them arguing. The dad was drunk, pretty sad though, and then it just starts kicking in, like the abuse, and you just feel so bad for Jack. I thought the acting was really good, especially from the actor who played young Jack. I think those scenes were really well done. And then the scene with like the fishing and Jack and Lindy, and then Jack and his dad, and it shows you how there were good times. And then the conversation with Amy and Jack, I thought was really good, and how they made a connection with what's going on with Logan and his dad. And then I really liked Lisa being there for Jack this time around. Overall, I think Jack was. I really like Jack this episode. I think it's good that we are unpacking this baggage, because we hardly knew anything about Jack's father before this episode, and I'm glad we got to see that. I mean, I'm assuming he's dead at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think they. I mean, I think it's just I think it's just you assumed that.
Right.
But yeah. What did you think overall of Jack's story?
I thought it was good. It, like you said, it gives us a real good glimpse into what makes Jack Jack. We're all operating in some kind of state of brokenness because of damage in our past, and we're able to see where Jack has had some damage done to him that's caused him to be the person that he is today. It was neat to see him work through it. It was neat to see that he finally could say, you know what, there were some good moments. And so there was some redemption there. And I thought that was good and very healing for Jack.
Hmm. The other thing is that I'm not sure. I guess the mom must have already died at this point. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. We don't know anything about
Yeah.
that. So because then it was just the two of them living in the house, and he said, you know, I've never felt like this is the first time I haven't felt safe in my own home ever since like then.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's also something like now like he's feeling unsafe because of the break-in, and then he because I mean ever since then in between he's probably pretty safe at the ranch. I mean he's really made it his home. So it is unfortunate, especially for him who he's had to deal with that. But yeah, I really like Jack's story this episode. I think it worked really well. And the other things going on. So Amy and Logan are continuing to work with the wild horse, Shadow. It's less about the horse and more about Logan's home
Mm-hmm.
life. Pretty much his dad is. They're going to decide if his parole will be accepted or declined, and he's looking forward to hopefully his dad being able to go in and they can leave.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're continuing to work with the horse, and then he finds out that the parole was declined, so he is getting ready to leave. But good news, he decides to stay after Amy says running away isn't going to help.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was good, and how they're and also like how again Logan and his dad was being able to be connected with Jack and his dad in a sense. I thought that worked out. What do you think of that whole storyline?
I liked it. I liked at the end that Logan felt like he had a place where he belonged, and that's neat. And that's just a storyline that continues through Heartland, where these broken children feel loved and accepted at the ranch, and it's just a really neat thing to see.
I think I'm liking this one a little bit better than the previous because they brought so many different foster kids in. I think that's just because this one's a teenager, we're I think able to like the character more, if that makes sense. Because the other ones they bring in are like younger,
Mm-hmm.
like Georgie and Luke. So I think this time it's just a different perspective because as a teenager he's been more stuff. You can kind of relate to him more, I think, a little bit. I mean, obviously you feel bad for all the foster kids that are brought in, but then we find out that Cooper like left or something. Like I don't know what's up with that, but Clint's like the center won't be able to stay open if Cooper doesn't come back. I mean, they're already so deep into the hole with money and
Mm-hmm.
problems and everything, so I don't know what's up with that with Cooper just leaving.
Yeah, I think Cooper probably is feeling frustrated and like he's failed the center,
Hmm.
and whether he comes back or not is yet to be determined. But Clint's going to stay there, and it almost for me sets it up for will Amy decide this is something she wants to do, and maybe not, but it crossed my mind.
Yeah, I could see Amy going down that path. What I do like about Amy now is that we get to see her make a connection with someone, and I
Mm-hmm.
do like that. And I think she sees a lot of Ty and Logan. I think she sees someone who started out broken and not wanting to. I mean, more last episode, he didn't want to be around the horse. Well, actually, I mean, he did want to be. He was just too nervous to get to it. And then, but he was still broken. And now you can see how he's like slowly starting to like heal. And I think, she sees like a gift in like wanting to help this kid out. And I think will lead to like fostering or adoption. I don't think so. I think it could just simply stay. Um, bring someone like Jaden, if you get what I'm saying. Like I could kind of saw that maybe like just someone else, like someone like stick around. I guess
Mm-hmm.
maybe. Um, but yeah, I like that whole thing. And then Parker was kind of crushing on
Mm-hmm. That was
Logo.
cute.
Yeah. Um, and then okay, so yeah, Tim was so upset when he found out his rodeo trophy was missing. He like yeah, he was like his like face like when he saw it was missing. He stormed in, and of course he did. I guess he didn't know about the break in, and um, so he teams up with Parker, and he thinks that it's Logan and the teens. Tim being Tim, he just goes like to the what he thinks is the obvious answer,
Mm-hmm.
which and then so I guess they're looking to see if these items are on this like random website. Of course, they're not they're not going to be. So then I guess they make a connection with like the fair being in town, and the robberies taking place in the certain locations at the around where the fair's at. So they make that connection. So they go to this pawn shop and they get the trophy and the watch back for Jack, and they're able to bring them back. So that was cool. Cool, I guess. Cool team up there. I mean, they missed the television. The television's still missing. I thought that was. I was surprised they were able to get that out. I mean, I feel like it's kind of bulky, but whatever. So what do you think of that little team up?
Yeah, I think Parker's just a really neat character in the show, and I like seeing her mind working and figuring things out. And I like that she called Tim her sidekick. That was really cute.
Yeah. Only other thing is, I'm kind of. So they said, I guess the person who brought it in was like an older man. I don't know what that means because we still don't know who's behind the break-ins to begin with. I'm assuming they'll reveal that later on. I still think that, unless this is something totally separate, I still think that J.D. Worth guy must be involved because we saw him in the trailer. Could be a completely separate storyline, but I feel like he must have something to do with it. Or maybe it's something else, but I'm sure they'll reveal it soon.
Yeah. It almost made it sound like it was maybe someone that was a part of the fair, because the fair moves from town to town. And if that's the case, whether that's the end of it for the show or not, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. I feel like I kind of want a little bit more of a reveal, but it's also not going to dive into like mystery. It's not that type of show, but it would be cool if they actually made some sort of interesting reveal out of it. I don't know. And then finally, Lou had her own story this episode. Now, I don't know what to think of it. It was kind of like weird. If they were trying to make it seem funny, it really wasn't.
Yeah.
Her laptop's missing. She's trying to find it because she has inappropriate pictures on there that she doesn't want anyone to see. Yeah. Of course, seconds after they wipe the laptop clean, here in comes the laptop.
Yeah.
And I guess like they just like hid it like in a supply cabinet. Of course, the note wasn't found because Lou's desk is so messy. I'm like, oh, that's just bad. That's not good. What do you think of her whole thing?
Typical Lou. It was funny and not surprising. So yeah.
I mean, it was kind of funny, but like, I don't know. I don't fully get if they're trying to do comedy here or with her assistant, because I'm still not totally vibing with her assistant. He still weirds me out. I don't know what you think.
I don't know. He's who he is.
I think that's kind of it. But yeah, I like the episode overall. I'm excited for the next one. So anything else you want to say?
Nope.
Okay, well, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye, everyone.